Hey there, this is Remy Ortiz here with an unboxing, the HTC One M9 from T-Mobile. First date's come out now here on March 30th, 2015, and I'm here to run down all the specs here and compare it a little bit to the HTC One M8. So I'm here with the HTC One M9 from T-Mobile. This is the gunmetal gray variant that I have here. As you can see from the outside, a nice textured outside on the front here to make it look like the M19 or the One speakers. On the back is all of your specifications. I'll go over all those specifications as I'm trying to pry this sucker open, as well as the list of contents, your SIM, serial, all that other good stuff. Alright, so let's go ahead and open this sucker up. So as I'm opening this up, I said that I would go ahead and go over the stats on this phone. So inside, we are powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 810 processor, which is an octa-core processor. It has essentially two quad-core processors that are sort of in serial or running with each other. What the first set of cores does is it is a 1.5 gigahertz quad-core processor, and then the second core is a 2 gigahertz quad-core processor. So you got power when you need it and energy saving when you don't. So let's go ahead and leave that off to the side. Additionally, you have 3 gigabytes of low-power DDR4 RAM. That processor and the RAM is also mated to the Adreno 4. I believe it is the 420 GPU. And before I go ahead and unbox the whole thing, you've also got a 20 megapixel camera in here, which I'm going to go over. The boom sound speakers, a 1080p display over 5 inches with on-screen buttons. So here we go. From the front here, you've got the HTC One M9 and all of its glory here on the left. On the right here is all the listings of the HTC protection, which is great, and it actually extends to both those that buy the phone unlocked, and it also extends to those who buy the phone with a carrier, and that's us with T-Mobile. Just a little heads up as I'm going to lift this lovely device up. Looks pretty good to me. I'm going to put that off to the side and take a look at everything underneath. I'm actually a little partial to HTC myself. I've had, I believe, 5 different HTC phones, starting from the Hero with Sprint, going all the way to the new M9 that we have before us. So as I go ahead and I put this off to the side, we have some extra stickers in case we need to know our IMEI and so on. We have our SIM ejector tool, which is useful for both the SIM tray and the SD card slot, which is expandable up to 128 gigabytes. You have your start guide here from T-Mobile, a return label in case you happen to need a credit for a return or just recycle your handset, I should say. Let's see, we have your limited warranty as provided through T-Mobile. We have as well the limited warranty that we have from HTC themselves, a full listing of the protection, the T-Mobile SIM card, which is already pre-installed in the phone, but because I used T-Mobile's Jump, I just need to swap SIM cards and call it done. A couple of HTC stickers to stick on whatever you may need to, because you want to rep HTC, just like those with the iPhones need to rep Apple, I should say. And on the right here, you have your wall wart, which is just your standard 1.67 amp HTC charger. This is not a Qualcomm Quick Charge 2.0 type of charger, the way the Moto, I believe the Moto Droid Turbo and the Nexus 6 both come with turbochargers out of the box. You still have to purchase yours separately from HTC, but thankfully I already have one. And then we have our lovely USB cable. Now that's it for all of the packaging that we have here. The drawback is that you don't get headphones with this guy, which you do get headphones if you happen to purchase an unlocked variant, which is pretty cool, but I already have a pair of headphones already as it stands. So now that we have unboxed everything, I'm going to go ahead and put this off to the far side here. Here we have the HTC One M9. And it's very simple. I believe you just take this sucker out of the sleeve. Or did we just peel the whole thing off? Let's go ahead and finagle it. Now it looks like we're going to have to maybe peel it. I really don't want to take out the sleeve too much. I really don't, but it looks like I'm going to have to go ahead and find a seam to peel from. Here we go. There we go. Alrighty. And now we're perfect. Now we just go ahead and take off our lovely serial number sticker and so on. And even though this is a carrier variant, we have a nice clean back, no tramp stamp from T-Mobile, thank goodness. Instead of the HTC logo being embossed, it's just on the device, which is pretty cool. There's your 20 megapixel Sony sourced camera. No optical image stabilization, but it does have a sapphire lens cover, so no scratches if you've ever had an HTC One M8. On the side here, you have your micro SD card slot, your volume rocker, and a different textured power button over on the side here. On the left side, you have your SIM tray. Your front here is going to be flanked by 2 boom sound speakers, your light and proximity sensor, and your 4 megapixel ultra pixel front facing camera, great for those bar time selfies and so on. On the bottom, you have your micro USB port and your headset jack, and on the top there's nothing as far as buttons, but there is an IR port built into here, so you can go ahead and use this for TV. A lot of people have been complaining that the sides really sort of cut into your hands a little bit. And I'll be honest with you, this is kind of familiar. It feels like the HTC One M7, and I think it's really grippy. And in fact, the coating on it now is fantastic. In comparison, I actually do have an HTC One M8, my old M8. And in comparison right now, I mean, you can see that the gunmetal gray is a couple of shades darker. From the back here, you don't have the dual camera anymore. You just have the one lens. But this phone is still capable of doing the lens blur effect in the settings from what I've read. As you can see side by side, base to base, the One M8 is just a hair taller, while the M9 does sit a little more squat. It is a little narrower as well for better one-handed use. Again, just a hair, not by much, but it is a few millimeters thicker right now. So it's actually housing a larger battery. This is 2600 milliamp hours. This is 2840 milliamp hours. So you get 240 milliamp hours more for greater battery life. So you end up with supposedly better battery life, especially with that lower powered core in the mix. So we have the M8. You know, it's still one of my favorite phones of all time, and in the hand I really do enjoy the One M9, and it feels really good in the hand. It's definitely a lot less bezel all the way around. The HTC bar, a lot of people end up complaining about. I honestly don't mind it. I really don't. It makes swiping up for Google Now a lot easier. So that way you have that room for it, but I can definitely tell that they shave down the bezels as best as they can. As for your wireless stuff, you have many more bands on the One M9 versus the One M8, so it is capable of lower frequencies for T-Mobile when they decide to roll out the 700 megahertz band for other nations as well. You also have as I mentioned, a 1920 by 1080 display using Super LCD3 technology, which is almost ported over from the One M8. And I'm going to give a full day impressions tomorrow, what the first 24 hours were like with this phone. So be on the lookout for that. And you'll also see a week and a month out as well. Again, this is Remy Ortiz going over the HTC One M9, and that was your unboxing and very first impressions. To be honest, the M9, HTC did it again. It's a winner. I love it.